Anymore. How you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Rundown. Let me go and get my background music. Oh, but I found out that I gotta set the TikTok up to Epidemic Sound. They fucking strike me on one of the fucking reels because it had that background music. Mhm. On TikTok, it's pretty much. I mean, you can come back, but shit, you don't even want to go through that shit. All right, guys, we gotta get some content done today. I did about 4 hours yesterday. I'm gonna try my hardest to get as much shit done today as possible, which means I'm about to go back on my Red Bull diet. But first topic of the day, we're gonna talk about A at the table. We got my brother Rico and his co-host talking about when did the gender war start and the relationships between women and men and the dynamics. I guess he's going to explain everything to us. And shout out to Rico. I like Rico. He's a stepdad. You know what I'm saying? He's not married, but he's in a happily committed relationship. Hmm. Yeah, I ain't gonna say he got kicked off Anton's show, but they had a falling out about stepmoms and stepdads. And he went off on Anton about that shit. But I'm gonna get to Anton. I got some clips of Anton today.
Solutions for it. So I'm gonna just alley oop this to Erin and let her segue this off, because that's my good colleague.
I don't honestly, I don't know how it started, but my assumption is that assumption. So don't come in the comments talking no bullshit. My assumption is that it came from the power dynamic between men and women after women started to gain equal rights and opportunities. And I think that there, while women have been getting equal rights or striving for equal rights and opportunities, uh, the resistance has generally, I would think, has come from men who are the ones who would have to pivot and change. And there's resistance to changing against something that's been a certain way forever. So
She would be correct. All of this stuff started with men wanting to resist the fact that women wanted to be treated as equals, right? It all first started, as Rico is going to go into later. Women wanted married women. They wanted to start a new movement because their husbands was getting the homes and their names couldn't go on them. Right? I think it was called like the Housing Act or something like that. This started in the early 1900s, late 1800s, and what ended up happening was a lot of women didn't have any value in their homes. They couldn't pull out mortgages. They couldn't do a lot of stuff. Despite working on the homes, most of them literally kept those homes up. And it wasn't. And I don't mean just being like on some motherly type stuff. I mean like they were actually nailing planks to the wall, fixing cabinets, plumbing and stuff like that. Especially in the black communities, because for one, a lot of white, even white businesses at one point in time, they just wouldn't serve black people. That's just a fact. So it forced black women and black men to go into business for themselves and learn how to do a lot of stuff themselves. But it all started with the men. But we can continue. Good morning, Vixen. And shout out to Vixen, the sponsor of our last show with her $25. Let's go.
I'm assuming that's what it is.
I got some shit for y'all, but go ahead, Smooth.
I was about to say, do y'all know how all this stuff started to begin with? Like how women rights and women voting and all this stuff started? It really was just because the government couldn't tax half the population. So you got 50.
It was not about the government trying to tax half the population. If the men who ran the government had it their way, it would have never worked at all. What happened was, as I just stated, women decided that they had had enough. And women decided that because a lot of the men who ran these organizations, they were, in so many words, misogynist, to keep it 100 with you, right? They wasn't going to work for these men. They wasn't going to be slaves any longer. They wanted equal rights. Some of these women consider themselves smarter than these men, right? They consider themselves to be perfectly honest, more capable of a leader.
A lot of them came from very wealthy families, educated families.
Yeah. A lot of the white women came from white, educated, wealthy families because most of the, as much as they try to make it seem like, well, my family was white poor, the white poors were rich compared to the regular blacks. Like white people with regular jobs had more money than black people who own their own businesses. That's a fact.
Let's not forget about the men that had all the daughters and he couldn't pass his wealth down.
It happens all the time. You gotta speak up, babe. They won't be able to hear you. If you're gonna be talking, I'm gonna be responding. You gotta come over here, or they gotta be able to hear you. But at the end of the day, it did not start with the government wanting to tax women.
And this wasn't just women. Mostly women led the march, but there were men in it as well who had daughters and wives, who loved their daughters and wives, that didn't feel the law was fair as well. Because if something happened to him, another male that they don't know from a distant side of the family can come in and take all of his wealth and leave his daughters and his wife stranded with nothing.
And that was the whole thing, because
they didn't want that.
If I wanted to take somebody's house, I can wait till the man die, marry his daughter, discard his daughter, and keep the property.
Yep.
Right? So a lot of women, literally to safeguard their legacies, they fought for property. And that was the first like women's rights movement. That was in the early 1900s.
80% of the population is women, and they all sitting at home taking care of the kids. If they go to work, now we can get money from the father and the mother.
But the women weren't initially in the workforce. So the tax.
They were.
No, they weren't. Black women were in the workforce, but non-Black women were not. And what it was that when the men were off to war, you still needed somebody to support the family. And so that's what drove women into work. And then when the men came home, they was like, shit, I got a little money, I got a little freedom. I wanna keep doing it. You know,
Yeah.
and so what you're saying, and this ties into what you're saying, the government pushed that.
Because they saw a benefit.
Exactly.
So, okay, I did some.
For them. It was about separating the household. If you get the man to work, the woman to work, and then the kids go to the schools, and the schools get educated by people.
It's almost like you wasn't listening.
Yeah.
A lot of fathers, because everybody talk about this prosperic time during America. In the 40s and 50s, you know what else was happening then? World War II. That's what. They always leave that part out. So it wasn't like the wars that we see in our lifetime, our country versus one country. No, this is a war.
This is a world war.
A world war. Almost every country was participating.
At that time.
So as they said, a lot of men, I'm talking about, boy, if you was 18 and over,
You was gone.
you was pretty much gone.
You was gone. You had to go. Yeah.
So guess what happened, right? The government still got to operate. Government still need people to go to grocery store. Government still need people to work at the deliver mail, all that stuff, right? Guess who took those jobs? Women.
They picked up the torch. Yeah.
Women and boys and men who were not eligible physically to be in the army. But mostly women.
And they did a good job at it, and it was profitable.
And then when those men came back,
And they wanted the women to go back into the home.
that was the problem.
And then these men, remember, this war was for years, though. This war was for years. These men were gone for years. And some men never came back.
I was about to say, some men never came back.
Yeah, some men died. Yeah, they perished. So
The responsibility was left to the woman to provide for the family. I'm gonna read all the comments today. Victor says she don't know what she's talking about. Women have always worked. No one was sitting around the house just doing nothing. Well, you got to define work, right? King Rooster. When we because you're right, women have always worked the lands, worked the fields, etc., etc. When we mean work, we mean like at one point women couldn't put in a job application for a position at a corporation, whether it was a fry cook at McDonald's or a CFO at McDonald's. They couldn't do either, right? And at one point, the government needed women to work, so they put them to work, right? Because they needed the men to be off winning the war. And because of that, when they got back, like she just said, some men were happy. Their wives had money. They got money stacked up. Everything taken care of. They about to get money from the government. And some men were not. They was, damn, my wife is in a position now where she make more money than me. I got to go to therapy for the next 4 years.
Post-traumatic stress syndrome.
I only check. I'm going to be getting this from the one from the military. I have no education, right? This is before they was really doing the GI Bill, right? Yeah, they had ways for people to go to college, but it wasn't. It's a major misconception that just because somebody went to the military, they came back and got educated, especially back in the day. A lot of them sat down, bought land, and just enjoyed waking up every day in a peaceful life. A lot of them weren't even stable enough. Like the soldiers that lost the Vietnam War, they were not stable. They were literally drugged out.
A lot of them was disabled when they came back. A lot of them couldn't work, so they had to depend on their wives.
You're living in opioid fields. It's full of poppy fields everywhere. Nothing to eat. In the middle of fucking Asia.
A lot of them was on drugs too.
Most of them was on drugs.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Yep.
So a lot of the women had to deal with that as well, because a lot of those men who were on drugs, they were also fathers. That's a super fact, especially black soldiers, child. That's a whole different story. I might do a video because my son's grandfather, Xavier, his grandfather was a Marine, and I remember when his foot got amputated and he had to go to the VA, and they basically treated him like shit. I mean, they did their jobs. But you know, I remember it was literally nobody in there. I walked in there, it was nobody in there. Now I asked them, like, where's all the vets at? And like most of them died.
Yeah, during that time.
Like when they come here, most of them just died. So, like, if he didn't get his foot amputated, he would have died. You know what I'm saying? Et cetera, et cetera. But she said most of them, when they come here, they don't want to keep going. They don't want to go through multiple surgeries and live on life support. Oh, these are soldiers. They make that choice. Let me go. So it's more like, when I was there, they literally said it's more like a storage facility, more than anything else. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was absolutely crazy. But no, bro, you are wrong with the dude with the glasses with the sleeves on, whatever. With the sleeveless shirt, goofy, major goofy.
You look older too.
And he looked fat. Yeah. I never understood why you wear sleeveless shirts.
And your arms look like that.
Your arms fat as hell. But it is what it is, bro. No judgment.
People that they put in place with the system that they put in place. It was a whole lot to it. But,
well, initially, the women's movement was really about the 19th Amendment, giving women the right to vote. Let's not confuse that.
That's also not true. As I stated, the women's movement started way before the 19th Amendment was written. This started literally. I want to say, like, I think it's 1847 or some shit like that, but maybe 1874, something like that. Late 1800s, white women already had a society, right? They already had what they would call the Renaissance, right? That culture was the same kind of culture we see in examples of the Gilded Period, the Gilded Age. That's a good word for it. But I think it's best displayed in like Bridgerton. Yeah. Right. They already had a society. There was already an economy. There was a government. There was everything that we have now, except on a smaller scale. They had an industrial industry that was basically just now taking off, right? The Fords of the world, the GMs of the world, et cetera, et cetera. And women couldn't work in those markets before the war. After the war, everybody was employed. Everybody was making money. They making the same money at the same factory that the men working at, doing the same jobs. It was no reason for women to have to go back to work, except because men didn't like it. And that just wasn't enough for a lot of women. Truthfully, they got their job done. Right. I'm gonna have more information on this, man, because I'm about to really start getting back to my like discipline like I was in college. 1 hour working out. I might cut this down to 2 hours a day per stream, because I gotta work out for an hour, and I got to read at least one chapter a day. And my reading is not as fast as it used to be. I am getting old. All right. All right. Let's get back to this. I'm gonna get through these clips, and then I'm getting out of here.
Like that was really how it started. And then you shifted to the need for equality, for education and schooling and everything else. But initially it was about women wanting to vote because women wanted the right to own their own property, having a sense of their own self. Because prior, women and the children you had in that family were deemed the man's property. So if the man decided to divorce the woman, he could not only, she would be left with nothing, even if he inherited everything from her. Not only can he take everything that was hers, he could take the children, and she had no rights to that.
Okay, my opinion, that's not an opinion because it's a theory, because it's supplied by facts. First and foremost, and I love the fact that like in my household, we be having conversations about this. So
Really?
yeah, so because like my girl be talking about some stuff, I'd be like, yo, bro, you don't make no sense. So let's do it. So we do the research together. And I tell you the backstory. It started off about men providing. So when we actually did some research and we Googled the first considerable women's movement, it was started by married women in the late 1800s. And it was basically about the
Women's Property Act,
about the ability to own, whatever property that she was married into, right? Her name should be on whatever land, house, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that was the start of it. That was the very...
Just let you guys know, Rico, because shout out to Rico. I don't mean this as an insult. He's kind of like all over the place. And that happens when you recording. I understand it, right? And he's a bigger content creator than I am. So I'm pretty sure he work hard. Nevertheless, the Married Women's Property Act was a series of laws passed in the United States starting at 1839 that gradually granted married women more economic and legal rights. These acts allow married women to own property, control their earnings, which is major important, and enter into contracts in their own name. That's all that was about. And the fact that they had to like really have a right specifically for women shows you that the misogyny was at an all-time high.
Yeah, I forgot about that. They were about women couldn't control their arms.
Imagine going to a agent. I got 50 bands right now for my daddy. I just want to sign my name on a lease. It's mine. Unfortunately, ma'am, either your father or your husband got to come down here.
Do you have a brother? Oh, you have to have a brother.
Any man. That's not you.
Yeah.
What?
Remember that girl couldn't even sell her own car? Remember it was her car, and they said we need your husband's
signature. She couldn't sell her car. She was sick as fuck.
Yeah.
She was sick as fuck. Wasn't she trying to get away from her husband?
Yeah.
And she was trying to get the money from the car. Yeah. Child. Couldn't do nothing without that nigga. The one there goes to the banks. They'd probably call him. Your wife was just down here trying to take out $400.
And then you have to use a man or have a man to go in with you on a contract. And the thing about it, what if he didn't like the contract that you wanted to give and everything? He could have turned it into his idea. He could have took it from you. Like, it was just so many things that women can do. And this was actually very specific.
That's why I might do a video. I'm definitely gonna do a TikTok about it. I need to get me a notebook so I can write all this stuff down. But I talk about Emily Bronte because she's one of my favorite authors because she wrote Wuthering Heights, and the main character in there is Isabella, and that character goes on to in story Twilight. That's literally who that character was named after, and the book is actually in the movie if you guys pay attention. But nevertheless, there's great literature and great storytelling and great writing all together. But nevertheless, she had to publish Wuthering Heights under a man's name,
right?
Because at the time, I think she was like a 27-year-old. She was white too, and she was a 27-year-old white woman, and she literally couldn't publish under her name. It was like she couldn't sign contracts with publishers. Like she couldn't do nothing except write. So she would write, and then she would. It's crazy. And I might have this number wrong, but I'm almost pretty sure I'm not. She had to split 50% of her earnings with somebody who literally did nothing else except be a man and be available. That was it. Yeah, I'm saying. So I always thought it's very disingenuous when we act like this came out of nowhere. Like this was white men's doing that black men got to pay for it because we live in this country that they made. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of black men go along with the rhetoric too, which is a major problem.
Because we know none of this applies to black
our actual lives. No, it never does.
Right.
Good morning, Fear. Fear says, good morning to Vixen. Rooster says, it was never about the women having more money than the man. Men didn't want their woman working under another man's authority. So Rooster, you think that the gender war started because men didn't want their woman working for another man and under his authority? Okay, let's roll with that for like 2 minutes. I'll give it 2 minutes, Rooster. If that was the case, why wouldn't he create a job for the wife then? Right? Why? I mean, that's solution one. Fine, babe. You don't got to go work for him and submit to his authority. I have a job for you now. We know the answer with a lot of black men. They didn't have anything to provide, any work to provide to a black woman. Most of them, not all, but most of them. So everybody that was African American at that time, which was basically, he was basically a slave. I always tell people, like, side note, real quick for my watchers, right? Let me just tell y'all this. When I was in school, I was working on a screenplay that I still think is a great idea. Let's never finished it. I want to do a screenplay, and I imagine having the best actors to deliver these scenes. But imagine the first day of emancipation, right? I just want to start the story there, right? Slavery Friday, Monday we freeze. How is the relationships? How do people actually move? Right? There were stories about people dying from picking on apple trees. Oh, you fucked up. Now you done crossed the line. You just stole, right? Especially in southern states where like Victor at, in Mississippi, for example. So I don't know. I feel like race had a lot to do with that shit, Vic, when it comes to the gender war. I feel like white men and white women been fighting since the 1900s. And then black men and black women start fighting, in my opinion, around the 60s and 70s, low-key. Up until then, all I saw was black people doing whatever they had to do together to survive. 60s and 70s come along, crack come along, black men, rap come along, a whole bunch of different shit change. High key.
Very first time women decided to say, hey, listen, if we're married to you, we deserve to own some type of, or have some type of ownership for whatever we have been married into. And I know we've all, and I'm not going to play dumb here. I hope none of us are. We all know men who have bought houses, gotten divorced, left the house with the woman, or she won the house and the kids. So now we done seen a whole 360 or 180 flip from the men retaining rights of the children in 1993. That was
No.
19.
Rico, what you just did was you oversimplify something that's not simple, right? You have to break down why did the mother win the house. It's not just because she's a woman. It's not like they just stamping, oh yeah, woman. It don't really work like that. Right? There's a lot of situations where women don't walk away with the house, where women don't walk away with the kids. There are situations like that. I just feel like a lot of the times women have their shit together, and a lot of times, even though women file for divorce, the cause, cause that's all the judge gonna want to know. What happened? He cheated, Your Honor. He lied, Your Honor. Remember Soul Food? He fucked my cousin, Your Honor. Then they gonna go to you, right? Like me and my wife. I got your name right here on this day. It said you stood in front of a federal judge, right? Or a county judge at the very least. And you swore oath in court to never cheat, never lie. Yada, 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 to death do you part. Isn't that what you did? Now it's time to penalize niggas. Y'all do know in New York, if they find out that you cheating, you go to jail. Did you know that, man?
I know they had like an adultery kind of law or whatever.
Yeah. Like an actual law out there. If they catch you cheating, you going to jail. I think it's like a 90-day penalty on that joint. Do you really want that?
On your record.
An adultery misdemeanor? That sounds so goofy. But nevertheless, it only applied to married people.
What was it?
In 1800.
1800s?
Late 1800s.
So in 1800s, men have already lost ownership of the kids, automatically granted to the woman.
Not automatic.
Damn near, like damn near. But then, so we lost that, or I don't want to say lost that. We gave that up. Now, then you.
But at what point were the men solely responsible for the children? There's never been a time in history where the men were responsible for the children. Let's think logically about this. The reason why they typically have gone, I don't know about right now, but the reason why they typically have gone to the mother is simply because they were the ones who were giving the care to the child. And at no point in history has there been a time where the roles were reversed.
No, she 1,000% right. I'll use Marceau as an example from Love and Marriage Huntsville. If he had been given full custody of his kids, I guarantee he wouldn't want to do it because he is so focused on business, himself, a little bit of his wife, maybe a little bit of sprinkle of the kids, but mostly himself. It's just that simple. He didn't even know that his son had a fucking peanut butter. Yeah.
That would be something, a peanut allergy, you know how severe that is? Children can die.
He could die, yeah. He literally made him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
His son was old enough to look and say, bro.
You know I can't eat peanut butter, right? Oh, I didn't even know that. You can't, you allergic? Like fully allergic?
Right, he was like, for real? He was like,
the fuck you mean? I can't eat that. Again. But when Marcel go outside, he gonna go outside with a Rolex on. He gonna hop in the Benz. But you make peanut butter and jelly for the babies. That's what I'm saying, bro.
And let's be clear, a lot of men don't. It wasn't the norm to ask for children in a divorce. We just assume that the children went with the person that's always been taking care of them. Because as a man, you're supposed to be out working.
Yes. And men tell women that anyway.
Right. So why
I provide. I shouldn't have to come here, clean, cook. That's all you. You got this.
And the kids.
So the judge say, okay,
right. This is a society norm.
We're going to continue to let the kids have this way of doing things, which they're more familiar with their mothers doing it. So, and we're going to let you do what you do, which is provide.
Right.
Just that simple.
He acting like men lost out. Like, how did they didn't lose out on anything?
They lost their kids 100%. No, they didn't. Their kids they can still go talk to their kids. Like, again, to go back to Love and Huntsville, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Martell never lost his kids.
Yeah.
He lost his marriage. He still had access to his kids. Nobody was keeping him away.
He was an attentive father. That we do know of.
But he directly cheated. Yeah. He had a girlfriend for 5 years. Yeah, he had a baby in that relationship. Yeah. It was going to be all but too easy for me to go and say,
look, yeah.
What you going to do, Your Honor? It's over. It's over, bro. So my point is, she's right. The roles has never been reversed. In any point of time that I can really think of, women have always been the caretakers of children. And that's just the way it is. Men have never really wanted that position. So that's the facts, bro.
So
I don't think they use that. Honestly, when it come down to picking, that's another thing about the system. Is really statistically shown that with fathers, even if it's a single father and he take care of the kids, those kids come out better than the kids that's raised by strictly single mothers.
What stats are y'all reading, bro?
And they never go in. Like, how do they come out better?
Yeah, like define better.
Yeah, like I need to know what do you mean by better?
What's my iPhone now? What's the other one now? they never define
What is better?
What is better and what is not better.
Yeah.
Ever. I gotta take a quick call, guys. 2-minute break.
It's better discipline. All those types.
Okay.
But my thing is this: we could just talk. Let's talk about this. You wanna,
I wanna know
and you also wanna, you ask the question of when were they the caregivers or the caretakers? Well, realistically,
they weren't.
Once they got divorced, that man, right? If we're going with the narrative, women weren't working at that point, right? Women were not allowed to work at that time. Okay, we're talking about the late 1800s now. We're far back now. We play a major role based on results. So, but my thing is this is where the war starts, right? The war starts when there wants to be a neglect or a downplay on the role of the man, especially
Here we go.
Men as victims. Like,
Who downplayed the man's role? Who talks about men who work at Amazon work these basic jobs?
I can't. Who did a job? Who did that?
Who call other niggas broke niggas? Who do that?
Women just wanted to work and have a little bit of freedom. That's it.
Who tell women you should be with a baller like me and don't be with that broke man? Oh, he good to you. Don't Chris Brown and T Grizzly get a song?
If you could think something like that.
But you know I got a man.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't
The song's
care.
called I Don't Care.
Yeah.
I don't care right now.
You gonna give it up, but you know I got a man. Yeah.
And the X-rated version is called I Don't Give.
Yeah.
Don't you understand?
Another man encroaching on another man's woman and him saying he don't care. Men did that.
So I'm in.
Yeah.
Oh, but if it was his woman, she would respect him. Respect. It go both ways, my brother. If he respected anybody, he'd say that's somebody else's woman. I'm gonna leave her alone. But that's not. Again, it got to work both ways if you want to actually enforce it. Otherwise, it don't work, bro.
especially when it comes to a child, right? So when we say, hey, listen, statistically, data or the history, data, whatever, the history of fathers being present in that child's life with or without the mother, the biological mother, the kid has that kid has a better probability in going further. This is just what?
I just want to know what study.
Here's one study, and what we know is children.
I disagree, because I mean, they haven't presented the data for me to really see what they're talking about.
When you say
and what do you mean goes further?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Are you saying making more money?
Are you saying like are they out of prison last? I don't know. Do they not go to prison? Do they go to college more? Like, yeah, I need something a little bit more. I need you to break it down a little bit more. What do you mean further about better?
Because if we talking about money, I can't talk about every community. But I feel like the black community is kind of like it might be even. I know a lot of young men who grew up with no father in their life that's getting a lot of money. Like they really get into the bag. I don't know. I can't really say that children are automatically better with their fathers. Like my other kids is primarily with their moms, and they are doing very, very, very well. Real talk. That's just real spill. I don't know, man. I feel like this propaganda stuff, it gotta come to an end at some point. No cap.
Children thrive better in a two-parent house.
Okay, but we're not talking about. We're talking about the war here.
I think even
now, no, we can attest to that now. Like even right now, think of what's going on now. All the kids with the guns, all the young boys, they all under 18. 9 times out of 10, they don't got their dad in their life. All the dudes that come on my show, the young rappers, I never had my dad. I don't know what my dad is. I never really worried about it. Y'all out here drilling. Y'all out here telling other kids to drill. They not guided. And I watch other mothers.
You watch when the mothers did what? Let me go back.
drilling. Y'all out here telling other kids to drill. They not guided. And I watch other mothers with their kids. Y'all don't know how to say no. You don't know how to sit that ass down. Like, it's a lot of things that y'all don't do that a man would do.
Then why you ain't doing it then? That's the problem. Why you ain't doing it then? If a man's role is to discipline and to teach his son how to be a better young man, you know, to lead him, to guide him, why you not doing it? Why you neglecting that? Let me guess. It's because the woman ran you away. Is that it? Is that all you got for me? Your excuses? Pathetic. At the end of the day, a lot of YNs are out here doing whatever they do. It's not because they have no guidance. They're being guided. I always tell people, I hate that. Stop saying these are like they have no guidance. They're being guided. They got OGs in their life that teach them how to really get down. That's called guidance, right? You might be going the wrong way, but that's still guidance nevertheless, right? We believe everything to be either good or bad, good or evil. I try to tell my wife all the time, those things don't exist. Those things are perceptions, right? Perceptions. People are guided to do awful, awful, awful things on a daily basis. On a daily basis, they are guided to do awful, awful, awful things. Who you think taught them that? You think Barron Trump is going to grow up just a good man just because that's... Come on now, y'all know better. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, bro. I mean, I look at people like, what's my man's name with the glasses? Dahmer. Right? Jeffrey. He was raised by his father, bro. Look how that shit turned out. I'm just saying, we had to look at this at a case-by-case basis to really break it down. Otherwise, we'd be doing ourselves a disservice. That's a fact. Let's get it going, man.
So I feel like a lot of times that's the reason why they so off the leash now.
But I feel like we've seen it firsthand how,
symptom, and not like
right.
Like that's merely. And I agree with you. And I'm not disagreeing.
It's not the solution.
With the stat, but that's a symptom of a bigger problem, because the women are raising their children alone, not because they chose to.
Right. And some of them. Wait, hold on. Time out. Time the fuck out.
I was really about to get.
Some of them have.
Let's not make exceptions into rules. Let us not make exceptions into rules. Yes, there's some.
Yeah, no woman.
But at the end of the day, no one is saying it. I can't imagine
choosing to struggle with a child by themselves.
So do y'all?
No woman is choosing to struggle with a child by herself. Did I see Toot in here? I saw somebody in here. Maybe it was IG. No woman is choosing to struggle by herself. No woman is choosing to struggle on her own. No. What end up happening is, a lot of the times, even in my situations, young, stupid, high-headed, and I end up leaving because I'm not getting what I want. Whether it be sexually, no matter what it is. And it's just in the moment too. It's not even something that really lasts over time. But a lot of the times when you, especially when we're younger, right? 19, 20. I was 19 when I had my first kid. You know, at the end of the day, you're just making choices. You're not really thinking. You're just really going with the wind. Doing whatever pleases you. And that in itself can be very, very, very dangerous, because you need to be disciplined when you're doing certain stuff out here. That's just the facts, man. But let me keep going. Shout out to everybody watching.
Think that fathers are not in kids' life just because they out here just partying?
For no reason.
Yeah, like they just like,
I just don't want to be here.
I don't know. I'm saying, let's just say we don't know why. But you know what we do know? That they're not there.
Yeah, the reason.
But
a lot of those reasons are like governmental system reasons.
You cannot.
So
first of all,
you got.
But-
Let's just say we don't know why, but you know what we do know? That they're not there.
Yeah, the reason.
But
a lot of those reasons are like governmental system reasons.
you cannot.
So
first of all,
you got.
age old argument for these bandits. These bandits love to make excuses. The government and government systems kept me from being a father. The government and government systems kept me from actually letting my child know that I love them, not just by saying it, but through my actions. And they did this for 15, 20 years straight.
A lot of people that's incarcerated. So many dudes that's fathers are incarcerated. It's real, but
Why they get incarcerated? I got incarcerated, bro, and they came me from my family. Why you get incarcerated, bro? You was doing nothing? They pulled you over and gave you a 30 piece for nothing. Okay, bro. These are the excuses that black men make for other black men. Oh yeah, bro. The system got him, bro. Bro, he got caught with a legal gun. He got caught with, you know what I'm saying, illegal narcotics. No, that's my man. He innocent, bro. He got a kid. How is the government systems keeping fathers away? Let me play this again. Make sure I heard this right.
reason.
yeah, like they just was like,
I just don't want to be here.
I'm
No,
out.
I don't know. I'm
I'm
saying,
out.
let's just say we don't know why, but you know what we do know? That they're not there.
Yeah, the reason.
But a lot of those reasons are like governmental system reasons.
You cannot.
So
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around that part. I'm trying to think about what governmental system, and I don't even know if that's the proper way of saying that, sir. But what government systems would keep me away from my children? You mentioned incarceration. That seems like something that usually only happens when I do something wrong. Meaning that the government didn't keep me away from my children. I kept me away from my children because I committed a crime.
First of all,
you got a lot of people that's incarcerated. So many dudes that's fathers are incarcerated. It's real, but
I don't disagree.
so much of this is just truly a plan. So much of this is already just something that was written down, implemented, and is working. Do y'all think we're made? Was it like a choice like, oh, I want to sell this coke so I can buy these rims?
It doesn't
Or
matter.
was
We
it to
all-
provide
that's
for your
choice-
family?
But
Yeah,
that's
there's
a choice that
choices.
a man makes.
See,
You
and
wanna
I
hear
think
a
this-
funny-
And I think this is a problem too. So, all right. So a lot of the women worst thing is like women, cool, y'all doing your thing and y'all winning. And I think this is what Rico was saying, whereas though now it's this thing where men are being down talked. Like we worthless. We don't hold up our peace.
Nobody.
Not
don't
saying
believe
y'all
that.
feel that way, but I'm saying that's where I feel like the war coming at. Like I was watching some girl and she in her car and she was talking about women. They did a study saying that women, black women, Latino women are now making XYZ, and the black man makes average 38,000 a year.
That's just
And she was like, and I'm about to buy these
Yeah, I don't think that's
$300
true.
That's
ball
stupid.
main slippers, and y'all out here only that you
Why?
had
She
to work
makes
3
two-
days to
what?
get this.
But she
So
makes
it's just like that's
$2,000
what's
more?
going on, though.
But here's the thing. This is what happens, right?
So
Women try.
we're mad that, and again, that's one woman. I was watching this woman, bro, and she was sitting in her car, bro, and she was talking about how she about to buy a $300 pair of ball main slippers, and the average black man makes 38,000, so she can't date a black man. You know what you do in that situation, sir? You move to the next woman.
So simple.
You think she gonna feel that way her whole life? Probably not. Almost guarantee she was a YN herself. Almost guarantee she was under 25. Cause most black women aren't buying $300 ball. Babe, you got anything in the house, ball main?
What's that?
You don't know what ball main is?
No,
Why you don't even know what ball main is? Child.
I know all the other people. I don't know.
You see, Ben? See how much t-shirts cost? That's Saks Fifth. $550 for the t-shirt.
I would never spend that much on t-shirts. I would never do that.
That's what the YN's wearing today.
Yeah. But see how they think all women want that stuff? I don't even know.
My wife don't even know what that shit. Like that's what I'm trying to tell y'all.
It is.
A lot of people don't know what that shit is, babe. Can you buy me these Balmain slippers? They $750.
No.
I literally got some Adidas slippers on that's just as good,
Right.
and I can get another pair for easy little ticket. Look at these Balmains, $190, and these are a simple pair. Child. So I don't know, man. Like everybody not really doing that, bro. A lot of women, y'all be surprised. They don't care about that name brand shit as much as y'all think it is, especially black women, bro. I be seeing white women wearing this shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like when you really think about it, I be tell people like Anton, for example. All black people, only thing they spend more money on everything else except this and that, blah 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 blah. You really think niggas walking around with Balmain on a daily basis? When you go to the website, it's not for us.
No. I've never even heard of this brand.
Balmain?
Yeah, never even heard of this brand.
You know I'm a big fashion person, bad low key.
I don't really care about this.
Well, fashion, art, creativity, film, photography, art of fashion, photography. At one point, used to go super hand in hand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, this stuff that I learned about in school, like we would learn about, for example, Andre Leon Talley, for example, great designer, right? Vera Wang, right? The people who take images in terms of, obviously, Christian Dior. Mm-hmm. Right. Versace, obviously. Versace was just bought by Prada or Gucci, one or two or something like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, black people don't even wear shit like this. Would you wear this?
Not the skirt, just the jacket.
For 3 bands?
No, I wasn't going to do bands.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
that's not my fashion. So for me, no. Like I
do any of this stuff look appealing to you?
No, not the shoes. The purses do, but I don't.
I mean, everybody like the purses.
Yeah, I like purses, so that's not the big deal.
You feel me? Everybody like their purses. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. I'm just saying, like, I think men who are dating those type of women, they start to believe that all women are like that. No, that's all women that you're around, because you don't want to be around the average woman. The woman who working at the average job, who live an average life. Y'all don't like them kind of women. Y'all, that nigga DDG said he got a Birkin like budget set aside just for bags, and Birkins make Balmain look like fucking Michael Kors.
I don't even like Michael Kors.
Nobody like Michael Kors bags.
Yeah, I don't even like Michael Kors bags.
Child, he had
I'd rather buy a bag from Topshop.
I'd rather come home and buy you a Coach before I buy you, and I wouldn't buy you a Coach either. That'd be blasphemous.
I don't mind. I like Coach bags. I like Coach bags. They're cute. For me, it's not about the brand. I like what I like. If I think it's cute, I'll buy it. If I want to spend the money on it, I'll spend the money on it.
You never had a bag, right?
Yeah, I have other purses, but not like I don't have expensive bags, like $3,000 bags.
I think I'll make that my wife push gift. I'm gonna go to Saks and get her a bag, because a lot of the brands are not super expensive.
They're not.
Right? For example, you can go to Saks Fifth, get a Valentino. But I want to go specifically, but we'll shop and we do the reaction same time.
Women try to separate from other women, right? And it's like, that's the women that y'all trying to separate from is the problem. You're trying to say, oh, I don't think it's sensical. You're right. But you know how many millions of them that are out there? Do you know how many
millions or what?
Of those type of women that are out there? Do you know how many millions of those type of women are procreating? And then you're saying it's on a man to not deal with her, to try to deal with her. You know how many women that use kids as pawns? My biggest, my opinion is this: the war has been started since men ruled women. Now men have been relinquishing.
Let me address what he's saying before I address the bag that I'm gonna get my wife. I might actually bring you on this trip now because when we go down there, I probably had that one check, and I can just go. We can go to Saks Fifth and just go buy it. We can go to run to all the rich niggas shop out in Troy, where the Motor Mall is, where they got the Lamborghinis and shit. I'll take you out there. First of all, women haven't been relinquishing none of the men's power. Men did that. The men were the ones who wrote those laws and passed those laws in Congress. There were no women in Congress at this time, sir. Hardly any women working in the government, except post office, shit like that. Hardly any women police officers, right? You gotta really think about the times, bro. Like, women were really seen as like soft creatures, especially white women, and they were safeguarded. If you want to use that word, that's how the men would describe it. The women would say they were oppressed, as they did. I'm safeguarding by keeping you home with the kids all day. You don't gotta work. You don't got nothing but provide for me. You know what that sound like? It sound like what Ford was telling Dolores and them. You free here under my control. So I'm not free then. That child, we watching Westworld. You gotta get tap in. But let's keep going.
Powers to women, right? Over the last 200 years.
Relinquishing means like you're doing it.
Like you're giving it up.
Yeah, they're giving it up.
No. Yeah. Relinquishing means like it has a connotation of like you're doing it
out of pity.
By choice, like without obligation.
They don't have to. Listen, I think women need to understand this. If men truly wanted to run this world, they would have never gave anything out. The only reason why they did give it out is because they were actually like, you know what? We're wrong. So, for us acknowledging that we're wrong, here's this. Okay, cool. Then you go ahead and say, all right, now we work. Boom. Now let's fight for votes, voting rights. Boom. So now you got this. Men have been relinquishing power for the last 200 years in America.
He's wrong. Sorry, sir, but you're wrong. The last 200 years in America, women have done nothing else except protest for black men, raise black men, children, been a matriarch in the black community, and not by choice, by force. So I think that we're very, very, very wrong when we talk about why men are not getting the respect as fathers. A lot of men don't respect men as fathers. Right? I mean, this was always depicted to me as a young boy. I think about, and maybe I can't think of the name of it right now, but I know Chris Tucker was in it. They was robbing. I think it's called Dead Presidents.
Yeah.
And the dude who played Pinky in the movie, he was like the stepdad. And Lorenz Tate went off to war. He came back. His girl had a little trick. He was making money in the streets or whatever. He came back. Let me see if I can find that scene where he broke down to him, bro, I've been paying for everything. I've been doing everything. You're a bum. Because that scene always stick out to me. There you go, right here. So he was mad. Let me guys show you. One man is the biological father, right? I'm gonna show you in real time. And shout out to Clifton Powell and Lorenz Tate for delivering on these scenes. You're bringing up a few groceries. He working hard. He should be respected, right? Okay. What, baby?
Hey, young blood. Bringing in the groceries, huh? Lord have mercy. Man, I remember when I was married, I used to love to bring home the groceries. Made me feel real good. Like a man. Know what I mean? Hey, listen, young blood. I just dropped by to see Juanita and Sarah. Lay a little something on them.
Stop by to see my baby. Is that right?
Young blood, I took care of your woman and your baby when you went to war. Now, a man ought to get a little respect for something like that. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I care about Juanita. I care about a whole lot.
I care about Juanita. I took care of your baby when you was out there acting like a goddamn fool, young blood. Rico, as I tried to tell you, and to my wife all the time, this space that we're in, that you're into, it's just like the real world. It's built on male advocacy and, coincidentally, male dominance over other males. It's male centered, male oriented. They only care about males. That was the whole problem I had with Izzy that day when we were talking about Anton. And he was like, Darrel, you tripping. I was only saying that, bro, because you're only mad at Anton because you talked about Karmelo Anthony. When you talked about Zaya Wade, you didn't care. We had to be consistent. And let me finish this clip because it made me feel good. I like watching it.
But you back now.
Remember this, man?
And I'm gone. So from this point on, you should consider me like a friend of the family. You find yourself in a jam and shit, need a little cash, you come see me, I'll front you.
Keep your shit.
He even said he'd front, bro, some cash. Keep your shit. See, that's called pride. We're both working together. We both love this same woman. We could work together, but your pride is in the way. And it's always a downfall. And just like in this story, I would do what the OG did. Sit back and let him destroy himself. Because I could affront you, Cash, but no. Because you was in the army, you know better than me. So what you gonna do? Me and my man's Chris Tucker, we about to go get a little armored truck. Good luck with that, bro. It's not the movies. Even though this.
But you back now. And I'm gone. So from this point on, you should consider me like a friend of the family. Find yourself in a jam and shit, need a little cash, you come see me, I'll front you.
Keep your shit.
Damn.
Listen, brother, I know about pride, but you got mouths to feed.
Facts.
Now I laid a little cash on Juanita.
Say, man, stay the fuck away from my family.
What did you say?
You heard me, goddammit. I said stay the fuck away from my family.
See, you little niggas don't know no respect. And like I tell my wife, the only way to change men is through incentivizing them. And that happens through force.
See, I ain't the enemy, young blood. I don't want no trouble.
Ciao.
See, I tried to be a friend, motherfucker. Surprise, nigga. Big bad Marines. Look at you now. Does she suck you? Fuck you. Make you feel like a man. Make you feel real good.
That nigga was crying.
Homeboy. Now she wasn't doing it like that before you went to the war, now was she?
You know, he just told that nigga, I taught her how to suck dick.
Yeah.
She wasn't doing that before you went to the war,
She
right?
wasn't doing it like that before you went to the war, now was she?
Yeah.
Now you getting all that good loving. And you can't even put food on your fucking table.
You can't
Good loving. And you can't even put food on your fucking table. Come on, Santa Claus. Open your mouth and suck this. Come on, I got a present for you. Suck it! Suck it, nigga!
Kill me, motherfucker. Shoot me right now. What you gonna do? Shoot me.
I ain't gonna shoot
This is
you,
personal,
nigga.
nigga. I ain't gonna kill you over no woman. Don't you ever in your fucking life bite the hand that feeds you, nigga.
It used to be rules in this shit. It used to be rules. You couldn't just go around biting the hand that feeds you. But now you can. Which one you want to do, I'll let you pick next. Beans versus Miserable and Jealous. A very well video about Mr. Daniels, which is... I'm not done. Daniels, Anton versus 1950.
1950.
And then TK Kirkland talking about Stepfathers.
No, I rather do Beans.
Beans? All right. What's good? What's good, Fred? I see you in the chat, man. Salute. All right, man. This next video comes from the Drip Show. All right, I am a member over there. At least I gotta renew my membership. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this reaction. Right? I don't know these individuals. I never met these individuals. We're not stalking nobody. Fair use. The purposes of this video is only for educational purposes. Okay? We mean nobody, no harm. We will not be leaving our state to harm nobody. We are civilians. Okay? You have to say that for the record. Jesus Christ.
Shut up, my nigga. Whose show is this? Drip or T? Do y'all have chat down? Do y'all have? Oh my God!
I mean, if you send it to me, yeah.
So I could pay to time somebody out in the chat.
What the dog doing?
Wait, who you trying to time out?
Oh,
time out. I want to time out MJ because she is a goddamn feminist. She let these people turn her.
You think feminist?
And I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of it. I'm tired.
What's up, MJ? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, why you lying?
Beautiful.
Get
him together. Get him together.
I don't know why you want to start with me in the middle of the night. So what's wrong with you, huh? He's a psychopath.
So since Beans was talking shit about MJ and wanted to drop her or remove her from the chat, let them have the conversation. What's going on with y'all? Who want to go first? No, ladies first.
Round one.
First. Because since I'm a feminist,
that means you, Bean. Go ahead.
Well, see, I mean, if they really understood what the definition of a feminist is, they wouldn't really have a problem with it. I mean, don't men sit up here and advocate for men's issues?
Yeah, they do.
All right, so women. So hold on, let me finish.
One at a time.
Against,
Come on, one band, one sound. Let's go.
Right. So men advocate for men's situations and issues. Women can advocate for their situations and issues. That does not necessarily mean that they are anti-man. Just like I'm not going to say that if men are advocating for men issues that they're automatically anti-women. That is just being retarded and low vibrational.
Damn.
You gonna take that, Beans? You gonna take that? Jesus Christ. Now Drip took down the woman she got into it with Trucker. Yeah, that's the one I really wanted. When he was bringing me up and shit. Remember she went on a spiral, started doing reactions. Some dusty ass fat motherfucker came over to my nigga Drip show. I'm sorry, Drip. I'm sorry that I came to your show and lost you so much business. It's not personal, my baby. If anything, you gotta go look at them and why they so fucking emotional. But nevertheless, let's keep going. Fair use.
You want to respond, Beans?
Because y'all don't know how to actually do this. Y'all need to watch Patty's debate show.
Nah, Beans, fuck all that. We don't need to watch shit.
I love you, Beans. I swear to God I do, dog. But you be doing the same shit Jay Prince do. That nigga Fatty ain't helping you out with no money. I'm not helping you out with no money right now either, but you don't want to work with me. Right? But you always mention them niggas. Man, y'all need to watch them niggas Fatty debate. Them niggas don't be debating, bro. Niggas got three or four different moderators. Everybody talking in between. It's not a debate, bro. It's a conversation. Learn the difference. Right? Since I've been living in Illinois, there's a lot of smart people here. So I can't associate Chicago with stupidity. I expect more from you. Let's keep going.
We're not talking about Fatty or nobody else. This is me and Drip show. Let's go.
Why is he playing with me tonight? Come on, bro. Like,
don't compare me to nobody else. I'm not
come
nobody
on.
else. I'm me. Don't compare me. Just like I'm not gonna compare you to none of these other niggas on here. Respect me and don't do that to me.
No, you're not gonna compare me. You just gonna lie and say that I always play a clip that I literally just made last week for the first time.
Okay,
That is wild.
Beans, let's keep it 100 Beans.
I've,
Right.
you know,
Were you thinking of oppressing women?
I've been on your panel before, Beans, months and months ago,
And
you
I
was
never
showing
had a clip that I
shaking.
played for Cash Apps or Super Chats with a half naked
You
woman.
lying your ass off, Beans.
But listen, he already admitted that he has done it. He doesn't do it all the time. So that let's
cool.
put that let's put that same logic. Is every woman doing the ratchet shit that you talk about? Is every woman out here twerking? Is every woman clapping their fucking ass and dressing like Sexy Red? No. So by your logic, what's the problem?
It's on you, Beans. Don't let this be no checkmate.
No, listen, it's not gonna work over here. I'm sorry. Like
What's not
I
working?
forgot where I was at.
What do you mean? I'm using your logic. You got
You're
mad
not,
about
though.
my
You're not
comment.
using
Yes,
my
I am.
logic.
I actually am. Because you got
You're
mad
not.
about my comment.
Yes.
You got mad
Your
about my comment. Did you read
your
my whole comment?
The comment that you just made does not reflect your comment, right?
Which one?
The comment that you just made is that not all women are hypersexual. But the comment that you made in the chat is suggesting that men promote hypersexuality more than women do.
That's a fact, though, Beans. If that's what she said, then she was right. Men have always promoted hypersexuality. I've always said this, bro. When black men try to go against me in these arguments, I say, fine, we can do it. Let's do it. Right? But because I want to start as an adult, because we don't care about what teenagers are doing. These are kids, right? Now I asked the man, did you go to college? Right? Frat. Put a 1 in the chat if you still in the frat narratives. Right? Because I want to ask you this question. Let me turn off the music, make sure you hear me. Right? Frat. And anybody else who went to college, you can put a 1 in the chat if you did and then answer the question. Right? But Frat, I want to talk to you because we was around. We was on the yard. Right? So we understand how this shit goes. The question I have is this. How many men in college on the weekend or whenever y'all went out, right? How many men say, I'm going out tonight to find me a wife? I don't want no sex. I don't want no thought. I don't want a woman who want to bust it open and smoke blunts and get drunk off Henny. We don't want that. Right? What I want is a wife. And that's what I'm looking for. Somebody who I'm going to propose to and be intentional about. Thank you, Fred. Was that every male's? That's the question. Was that every male's mindset? Of course it wasn't. Most weekends at Central Michigan, it wasn't just the black students, black males, it was all of us. Most of us just wanted to go get some coochie. And then we got girlfriends so we can have winter coochie, consistent coochie. That's a fact. Bro said not many, but I was one that got married at 19, divorced at 35. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. But just because y'all broke up don't mean it's bad, right? It can be y'all moving on to something better for both of y'all. Look at me and my wife. Let's keep going, man.
Which is absolutely insane to say.
No,
and
it's
there's
not.
no
It's
evidence.
not
that you
insane.
can prove
It's not insane to say.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You said let them have a conversation. I knew
Wait.
And
Let
now
him
you
finish,
jumping
MJ.
in.
Let him finish.
and
Let him
that's what
finish.
I'm
Let him finish.
So I'm not.
Well, I can't tell he stop, but
No, you good. Good. I need help because you know how
go
I
ahead,
get.
Beans. You got it. You got the flow, Beans. You got the flow. Everybody mute up. You got to let Beans get it out. You got to let him.
I wonder why T don't come back to the show. I wonder, and I'm just speculating because I have no personal problem with T, but I remember when I was talking about how I don't really like how Hamp run his shows and Like he went from having an all women panel to now none of those women want to come back on the show, and now he's just doing all male shows. And Fantastic is his co-host out of nowhere, and how they had that boxing ring stuff, and it was like everybody kept remember they was begging me to come down there. Everybody begging me to come. When you gonna fight Say Light? When you gonna fight E Black? When you gonna fight? I said, bro, I could have fight all these niggas. Niggas, I be in these cities every day. Remember I showed you the message between me and him? And he kept, hey bro, I do this, I do that. Hey bro, you give me 5 bands, I pull up on you. I'm not fighting nobody. Oh, you can stream it. Nah, it's not worth it. Right? I don't gotta on my old channel, it might have been worth it. Even in that situation, I would have still been paid. Or as you just said, I can go crank up a stream and make money independently. Right? But I always thought that it was very weak to create a boxing situation where niggas wearing hair gear, niggas wearing 10-ounce gloves instead of 8-ounce gloves. You know what I'm saying? I just was never with that, bro. I thought that was real weak. You feel me? And that's no disrespect to him. Major love to bro. Shout out to all the black men doing their thing, but I just feel like that shit was weak. You feel me? But whatever, man.
Okay, let him finish and then okay.
Go ahead, Beige.
Yeah, I think I might be right. I think T, and Drip haven't confirmed this or whatever, but I think she started fucking with Drip because I be over there. Because I be wondering who be the ones who I wouldn't think emailed him. Because like he would tell me, it's people who you wouldn't even think. I always, who are those people? And what problems do they have? I always remember this is a clicky ass space. You feel me? But it is what it is, bro. Shout out to T. No problem with her.
You got it.
So I think MJ understood what I said. She was trying to respond, but T jumped in.
Nah, you got it though. Everybody.
Go ahead, Biggs. I didn't hear. I didn't hear
No,
everything.
what I said was this: is that you acknowledging that not all is a 4th grade level argument. Okay, not all white people are racist, but they exist, and racism is still a problem universally across the globe. So just because not all white people are racist does not eliminate the threat of racism, right? So it's a moot argument. The fact of the matter is, there's no evidence that you can present to suggest that men promote hypersexuality more than women do. Not one.
What are you talking about, Beans?
That's not true, bro.
It's in everywhere.
Right.
It's just in the culture.
Right, it's in the culture. It's in the history books. It's in the movies. Like,
yeah, black cinema really took off doing. I wish I could remember the exact name of it. With Pam Grier, it was like the black. What do they call it? I want to say the Black Dynamite, but I know that's a movie.
like it was just
all of those films, and it was about hypersexuality. Pam Grier herself was hypersexualized. Men have always done this. Like, it wasn't women who had posters. Babe, you ever have a poster of a man and masturbated to it?
No.
Do you think men have posters of celebrity women and masturbate?
Yes.
Of course.
Magazines and everything.
Of course.
They buy subscriptions. They're the biggest contributor to the porn industry.
Of course.
Yeah, they're the biggest proponents.
Who do you think was buying Playboy back in the day? You think it was women?
Not women. No, it was males.
Come on. You want to know the reason why there wasn't another male version of Playboy that took off? And there's not a female Hugh Hefner? Because we live in a patriarchal society. And those men will be looked at as weak and cucks.
Yeah. So to say that, no, that's not true. Males will give their daughters to other men.
Males always find a way to
incorporate their daughters into trade,
into some kind of business.
Yeah.
At least at some point when it was a way to make money. Nowadays, not so much.
Okay.
Right. So that's my point. The thing that you said in the chat by saying black men are the ones out here promoting hypersexuality from the 1,000 power. Come on. Well, what does that mean the women are promoting it at if we're doing it at 1,000?
Okay, but again, see, when I made my thing about black men, Why don't you stick on how to prove that that is not true instead of referencing what women do? How about that?
Because
Prove what
that
my
is the
statement says.
argument.
No. Prove my statement that is not black men are not out here using or being hypersexual to the thousandth power. Prove that instead of trying to prove it through what women are doing.
No, you said they're promoting it
Yes, and they are.
to the 1,000th power.
Men
Yep.
really promote
And the
polygamy
1,000th power is
online.
my.
Look at Neo right now.
Well, that's the thing though, right? We got people like Neo, but then there's women like Miss Polly out here, right?
Right.
So that's why the way I look at it, and some women would say, this is what women would tell me, because I've heard all these arguments. They would say, she has been indoctrinated by the patriarchal system that she was raised under, which is an argument that I really can't argue against, right? The system's so big, so domineering, I would have to believe that because, and of course, she's a mammy. She's going to say, I was raised by my father. I know men. So she's not even going to deny these facts. How can I, right? But what I don't think is this. I don't think that women are the ones who are promoting polygamy. I think that's something that men created because men wanted multiple women. And it's in certain religions. In Islam, that might be a thing. But a lot of those men, like the men who I see who have multiple wives, they treat them. A lot of the ones in America that I see, like growing up in Detroit, we have Dearborn. I think I might have took my wife there. I might have not, but anybody from Detroit knows that area is southern, like right below Detroit, is full of. According to CNN, they say Dearborn and Michigan, that's the biggest Muslim population. You know what I'm saying? They were saying when they didn't want to vote for Kamala, it made a big difference. All I'm saying is this. When you see them with their wives out there, and I went to Henry Ford Community College, which is in Dearborn, all my peers were Muslims. One of my best friends down there, her name was Zainab. To this day, those are fond memories. And I remember going into her community, and it was always men who had multiple wives, and they treated them equally, bro. Like they all had nice cars, they all had the same shit. Like it wasn't like how we do it, how I see men doing. Like, yeah, I'm slotting these bitches. One is this, like they didn't really treat them like that. Like if a black man was to disrespect the third wife, he would get the same treatment if he disrespected the first wife. You know what I'm saying? It was to be honest, it seemed sacred. And I think that black men try to manipulate that into something that's really more about sex for them. Like no bullshit. I think it's, for a matter of fact, I think those other cultures do it strictly for power. I'm going to start a business, have a wife. She's going to have multiple kids. They all going to work inside my businesses. I've seen that play too. That's a super fact.
I mean, exploitation of women have always been the big thing.
It's nothing new.
It's nothing new. Like we can go as far back as you want. We go as far back.
When I told you when I moved to East Lansing, my homie Shabam, he's Indian, but same thing basically. He would go back and he would work at his father's liquor stores. And his mom, who was his dad's wife, she was the bookkeeper of all the stores. So she basically balanced all the money, paid all the bills, etc. And the dad would do like the distribution orders, make sure the places were stocked, etc., etc. Him, the brothers, the sons, etc. So I've seen this play happen a million times. It's all about men hypersexualizing women for their own purposes to whatever ends that they have. That's just what it is.
There's more women's strip clubs than there are male strip clubs.
It's the same reason why when Lil' Kim was talking that gangster shit, Biggie told her, somebody want to hear that shit. I need you to be sexy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? Take the suspenders off. You know, take the shirt off. Keep the suspenders. We want to see that body. So she became the first hypersexualized rapper, and she was highly successful. Why? Because men wanted to go and see her, not just her, but she would perform at concerts. It'd be other women twerking, doing all kind of shit. And men would be out there and they'd be to spend that money, man. So to me, it's always about what men do. And I've dropped the link. If anybody want to come up.
My opinion, not necessarily
Right.
factual. So
Are you saying that the 1,000 power is less than what the women are promoting?
no, but that's your argument.
No, but that's the point. If you're saying
You're,
that,
but here's the thing. Wait. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Wait.
Your
One
argument.
band. One band. Come on. One band.
No. See, but this is what I'm saying. Your argument, right, is nothing to do with proving that my statement is wrong. Your argument is to prove that another side of the coin is actually far worse than what my statement is. That is the issue. You have to prove my statement wrong first.
No, I don't have to prove
No,
it wrong.
yes, you do.
Yeah, she was right in that situation.
Yeah, I get what she's saying.
I don't understand why Beans can't just make his argument. Jesus.
You have to prove that my statement is wrong first, and you have to do it without you adding in another element, which will be dealing with the hypersexuality of women first. You can't use a comparison to try to prove that my statement is wrong. Tell me your information that you know that proves that my statement is wrong.
So see, this is why y'all always lose debates to me, right?
No, you're losing
Hold
because
on, MJ. Hold on. Wait. Let him go, MJ. Let him go.
Let him go. Let him go,
This is
MJ.
how y'all always lose debates to me, right? What you're saying is, you're telling me what I can't do, but you're telling me that I can't do that based on the premise that you're taking. Because I'm not saying you're wrong. I never said you were wrong.
You are. You did.
I didn't say you were wrong.
You did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You said.
No, he never said you were wrong. He called you a feminist because of the statement that you made. Just to make a correction.
That didn't you come up here saying to literally bound me for the chat because you said I was completely wrong.
If you have to ask me, did not say, that means you.
Why did you want to drop her though? Why did you want to drop her?
So Jesus is the strength of my life.
I'm just asking. Why did you want to drop her?
So here's the thing, MJ. It's hyperbolic to the 1,000th power, right? Pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm arguing with, because it's a feminist statement. To suggest, because to the 1,000th power, you admit it's hyperbolic, correct?
To you.
No. For you, so you don't have to respond for me, because I'm not asking you to think for me.
To you. Just like you think that it's a feminist statement.
I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for you.
You can't. I told you, like, to you. That's your statement. I don't agree. I don't agree.
So this is the third time.
I don't think it's hyperbolic.
Okay,
I don't think it's hyperbolic.
Okay, so
hold on. Let him get it out. Let him get it out.
No, this is good. So you don't think that it's hyperbolic? Fine.
Nope.
That's all I have to prove. Now let's go.
No, that's not nothing have you prove. Because
Yes,
like I said,
it
you still have not proved that what my statement was wrong.
Because I never
You
said
still
it
haven't proved it. You still have not proved it. You just come out and you say that it's a feminist statement and it is hyperbolic, but you didn't say whether it was right or wrong. So again, what was the point of coming up here and having an issue with my statement?
Because the statement is hyperbolic.
But it's not, you can't prove that it's right or wrong.
I don't have to. I just have to prove that it's hyperbolic.
You don't have to prove that it's hyperbolic. What do hyperbolic mean to you? What do hyperbolic means to you? What do it mean to you?
Exaggerating to the 1,000th degree, pun intended.
Gotta do this every time with your children. So let's do it. Where's Gemini when I need her? Okay. Define hyperbolic.
The term hyperbolic can have several meanings depending on the context. 1. Rhetoric. In rhetoric, hyperbolic describes language that uses hyperbole, which is the exaggeration of a statement for emphasis or effect. It's not meant to be taken literally. Example, "I'm so hungry I could eat a horse" is a hyperbolic statement. A hyperbolic style of writing or speaking uses obvious and intentional exaggeration. 2.
So Beans is saying that her statement is exaggerated. Do you feel that way?
No. I just think you don't like her.
I wonder why that would be.
I just think you don't like her.
I think he don't like feminists. I don't think it's about her specifically.
I don't think Beans even know what a feminist is.
his idea of a feminist.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that can be anything.
Somebody who
That could be anything you think that don't sound
doesn't
right.
hold women accountable.
Yeah, that could be anything. And she's not a feminist. So I don't know.
She's not.
She's not. So like, yeah.
Now, Beans, you were wrong on this argument. I'm not sure who's going to win this debate in the end. We got 10 more minutes of this. But right now, to be honest, y'all kind of going, this conversation is hyperbolic. This conversation is just going in a fucking loop. I was expecting more fire from this.
So if it's an exaggeration, so is an exaggeration true or is it a lie?
The exaggeration is false.
So wait, am I in a twilight zone? Because didn't he just say that he wasn't proving whether if I was right or wrong? But now he's saying that the word hyper. No, you're not letting me finish. Wait.
Let her finish, man. Go ahead.
To the panel, didn't he just say that he did not have to prove whether if I was right or wrong? Yes or no? That's the first question.
Yeah.
He said
he did say that.
He said that he didn't have to prove that, right? Exactly. And then now when I asked him, what do hyperbolic means to you? Mm-hmm. He says that it's false. Mm-hmm. So in fact, you was actually trying to prove that my statement was wrong, but you want to hide it under calling it hyperbolic because your perception of what you perceive hyperbolic is false.
No.
Yes, it is.
No, so this is the point. When I made my statement was very, very clear, right? The reason why I had a problem with it is because it represents a feminist stand and talking point, right?
Feminist stand as in your opinion.
Of what feminism is. I'll accept that. Still
yeah,
it's
your opinion.
Right?
Wait, so let me ask you one more question. Is your opinion?
Wait,
one more question, Beans. One more question, Beans.
Wait.
Help me.
I got you.
Stop jumping in to save her.
He's not saving.
So wait, hold on. Let's really back. Hey, let's really back. Hey, chill. Let's really back. We're gonna do the one band, one sound. We on another. We're trying to get this out here. It's a good conversation. Travel on, what up? I see you. Like T, can you make it like a format to where it's just kind of them two up on the panel, and then like we can kind of moderate this like a minute 30, because it's really good. Beans over here.
Really is.
It's killing shit. MJ killing shit. It's crazy.
The only way I know how to do it is drop us and then let them talk.
Well, no, on here, at the bottom of it, it should show like
I see
templates.
it, but I don't have it set up like that.
Oh, okay,
I don't have it. You know what I'm saying? You'll have to show me how.
Well, it's cool. So look, we gotta have panel etiquette.
And then you can drag who you want to be in the certain places that you want to be.
Okay, so should I put these two in the middle?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's cool too. So look, y'all, we gotta have panel etiquette. Everybody got Beans intellectual standard, MJ intellectual standard. We gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? This is for the people watching. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's just have panel etiquette. We gotta let people get off their statements so it won't be no interference or interruptions.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's what's up.
One band, one sound.
One band, one
sound.
sound.
I see my head though.
Come on with the emoji hand. He's
all right,
lit
so
over
Beans,
there.
it's on you, Beans. And then MJ, you can rebuttal. Go ahead, Beans.
Listen. The point is this, right? When a person makes a statement, words sometimes have multiple meanings, right? When a person makes a statement, it is what it is. You don't get to determine what they meant by what they said, right? So I know what I said, I know what I meant by it. And that's what I'm saying. If you ask me what does hyperbolic is hyperbolic a lie, I'm gonna tell you, yeah, it's a lie. Right? Because I always tell people to answer questions yes or no, right? But that doesn't mean that it's 100% of the time that it's true. But if you force me to pick a side, I'm gonna pick one because I don't communicate disingenuously, right? That being said, your statement was hyperbolic, right? And the fact of the matter is that when I asked you, would you say that men promote?
But see, the problem is, Beans, is you have yet to explain why it's exaggerated, why it's hyperbole. That is why that's what everybody waiting on. Why is it hyperbolic? We get that you understand or you believe that it's a feminist statement, fine. But why do you believe that it's hyperbolic, that it's exaggerated? Let's go.
Sexuality more than women, you wouldn't answer the question. There's a reason for that. I want to know what it is.
Okay, MJ, you got it.
All right. So the first whole point of the fact is that the whole thing started by being disingenuous because it's clear as day that he does not. He does.
Hold on, B. You gotta let it go.
You gotta
You
let
gotta
her
go.
finish.
But she's not answering the question.
I am answering the question. I don't have to answer it the way you want me to.
Okay,
Relax.
so wait,
Okay.
B. So wait. So MJ, you gotta answer this question, but still elaborate on what you're speaking of. So everything that just happened as far as like 3 minutes ago, we kind of like gotta just let that go.
I know. I was actually.
Okay, go ahead. You got
That's
it.
what I was doing.
You got a minute 30. Go ahead.
Okay. So again, he wanted to know why that I initially did not say whether or not if I believe that that statement that I made was hyperbolic or not is due to the simple fact is that I knew that he felt that that was a false statement. Okay. So when he said hyperbolic, I knew that that was his opinion on my statement. So when he said yes or no, then I was confirmed. No, I don't think it was hyperbolic. Right. But let's just be perfectly clear. His whole setup was disingenuous from the beginning because he was asked clearly in the beginning, was he's trying to prove whether if I was right or wrong. He said no. And then when I asked him, what do you believe hyperbolic is? And when he said that it is false, that was giving the fake pretense that he wasn't trying to prove that my statement was incorrect or was correct, when in fact that he was. So that's why I said it was disingenuous from the beginning, because his whole clear intention was to prove that my statement was wrong. But then he went with the I'm not trying to say it. I'm not trying to prove that you're right or wrong. And that wasn't his argument to prove whether I was right or wrong. But in fact, that was his whole intent.
Okay.
So this is why I always win debates, right? Because the other people always end up debating debate, right? Instead of actually what we're talking about. So if we run the tape back,
Hey, do we need like 30 seconds?
Hear a difference of words being used. Right? So like when she just said that she asked me about hyperbolic, right? And she said that I said that it means lying. But the question that she asked me was, does hyperbolic mean you're lying? That's what she asked me. And that's why I answered the question and said yes. See, that is the opposite of being disingenuous, right? Like I said, if you ask me a question, I'm going to answer the question. And I'm going to answer it the way that you asked it, because I'm not being disingenuous. And I'm not worrying about losing, because I don't lose debates. So if you ask me, is hyperbolic lying, I'm going to say yes. I'm not going to say no, because of course that would be an incorrect statement and disingenuous, bad faith at that, right? Because more often than not, yes, being hyperbolic is lying. I could say I have 4 apples when I really have 3, right? But if I say, man, I got a bunch of apples in there, but I really only got 4, well, guess what? I'm being hyperbolic. I'm not necessarily lying. I got 4 apples. But I am being hyperbolic. I'm not lying. You see the difference? So when you ask me, is hyperbolic a lie? I said yes. But you still haven't answered the question, right? It's yes or no. Do you think women promote sexuality more than men?
All right, damn.
All right, video basically done. It's clear nigga Beans have no intentions on actually solidifying his argument about why this statement was hyperbolic, or why this statement was a feminist statement, or if the statement was true or untrue. So I would say this is a win for the young lady. I would count this as a win for her. Beans, this is a loss for you, sir. You failed to actually.
I don't understand, why do men do this? Why do y'all want to die on his hill? I don't understand. Just concede. Like, is it so you're willing to like lose your life over not conceding? Like, just concede. You know, you're right. I didn't think about it. Right. Like, and y'all could have continued on with the conversation, and you could have made it clear what you meant by calling her feminist. You know, like, dang, but y'all want to die on these hills, as if it makes us look at y'all like the man or the man or that man, instead of a man.
No bullshit.
I'm just like,
I don't understand why they do it either, man.
yeah.
I don't know. I think Beans is a great debater, but you know, he might have been over his head in this situation.
don't think you know what feminist means.
I think
Because he has his own definition. Of
I was about to say he
I don't
has his
think he
own
knows
definition.
what actual feminist means.
I mean, I think he has his own definition, so he don't really care. Child. I don't even know if I want to make that move. Interview.
What's today?
Tomorrow.
How many minutes is that?
That's an hour.
Oh, shit.
Hour, 11 minutes.
I don't know if you're going to like that.
Yeah. I probably won't. Let me go to my other videos, y'all. All right. I think I'm going to do this one now because I like Confidence Creator. And he never disappoints. And he was a person that made me want to get a short mic. I just always ask him, bro, what the hell did you do with your fucking voice? What you mean, Darrel? My voice sound, nigga. I need to know what mic you're using, what software.
Did he tell you?
Yeah, he was the one who told me.
He seemed cool, yeah.
He was the first one of the real big dogs that started to go against the other big dogs. And then they ostracized them.
That's all right. I like Confidence Creator.
He's dope.
Getting to the back. And so I've been getting to the back in real life. And I come back and O'Shea is still smoking this Pearl pack.
Stop it.
Yeah, everybody was going at Pearl. This is when Pearl had that Nick Fuentes interview. Child. I know she wish she never did that shit now.
Yeah, it literally tanked her.
Forever.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it, bro. Keep going. Keep going. The comment section might not be, but keep the grift coming, O'Shea. Anyways, this is about Anton. So where do we start? How about the beginning? See, Anton, I've been watching your channel for a long time. Not on no hating shit either, but you're a married man who talks about getting to the bag and relationship. So I'm into that kind of content. Yeah, I even did a reaction to one of your videos and you saw it. Hell, I've been watching you since your channel was probably about the same size as my channel, maybe even smaller, before you started paying Charleston White and big names like Lamar Odom or Brittany Renner to come on your channel.
Damn. The old days. Before we keep going, does Brittany Renner, because Anton said black culture is trash, does Brittany Renner represent good culture?
Brittany Renner's not black. So I don't know why we care about this biracial woman who she represents.
Is she a baby mama?
Yeah, she is.
She married?
I think she's married now, but
she had sex before marriage?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Child. What about Charleston?
He ain't married.
Is he a good man? He represents good black culture. Would you want him to be a mentor for your sons?
I would not want him to be a mentor for my son.
Damn. What about Lamar Odom? He was a basketball player.
I feel like he can be a little different because I feel like he can actually. I do believe in giving people second chances because that was like drugs are an addiction, you know. And sometimes it takes time to get over that.
Or sympathetic.
So yeah, I can be more sympathetic. I can appreciate someone cleaning their life up, changing their life around.
But Brittany Renner and Charleston, they get
right. That's based on their morals.
They're purposely going out doing fuck shit.
Yeah, that's based on their morals and their principles and stuff like that. I can't
popping up at high school games and shit.
Yeah,
watching niggas in college getting pregnant. It's just kind of goofy.
I mean, Lamar Odom, did he not make it to the NBA?
He was great.
Well, that's what
he's a champion. Lamar's a champion.
Right, yeah. Did he not do any of that? Yes,
he was on Kobe teams with Paul Gasol.
Yeah. So like, no. Did Charleston White do any of that?
I would argue that Lamar Odom in his prime was better than Scottie Pippen. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I don't like Scottie. Yeah, he was. Scottie was trash.
Yeah.
But let's keep going.
I even when motherfuckers that I was rocking with, that I was paying, that I was having conversations.
For those who don't know, this situation, I remember this. I was still moderating for 6 and Danica. This is when Anton chose Pearl over the black woman. And the black women responded. Together.
And big names like Lamar Odom or Brittany Renner to come on your channel.
I even when motherfuckers that I was rocking with, that I was paying, that I was having conversations with, when they was coming against you, I never turned on you.
And side note, I think paying well-known people to come on your channel is smart, but we're not gonna act like you didn't fake it till you actually made it. And I gotta take this L because even PBM was in my comment section pointing it out when I did a video on you. So I can't even act like
PBL. Shout out to PBM, vegetables and junk food. He was the original doxer. That's what y'all call it now. But he was the one that brought Anton business to light, Anton loans to light, Anton restaurant to light. Like he said in the comment, Anton is lying. His wife worked in the restaurant. That's working. He does a lot of capping. This is because he was saying that his wife wasn't working. He was an alpha male. That's when they was pushing the alpha male shit. The reason why I go at him, I used to go at Kevin, but Kevin's dead now. There's really no point of reviewing his content and making fun of him and shit. But Anton continuously, he's one of them. I got to get to the rest of them. Donovan, maybe even Angry Man. But a lot of these niggas are misleading the youth on a daily basis. That's a super fact. I was trying to tell Easy Bands in them. Some of the shit that they say are, is misleading the youth, misleading other adult males. We gotta be very careful about the things that we're saying out here. And I appreciate Confidence Creator for taking the time out to break this shit down in a pre-recording.
like I didn't see he exposed your ass.
You're a liar. All right, y'all. Anton Daniels is a YouTuber who is bragging about his money and begging people to join his Patreon. This video is to look at the paperwork and see if he's actually who he says he is or if he's lying to the YouTube community. You know, we don't like liars and we like good character. We like people who are honest. So let's look at it.
Let me show you my Versace sandals.
So PBM exposed you for faking it till you made it and giving out business advice even though you didn't have a business?
You know, if you can give business advice with no business, then I can give advice being a baby mama.
I let it rock.
I mean, yeah, bro. And it's crazy that shout out to Confidence because he got Anton people who, used to be on his panel. In that particular case, Six the Goddess. They're like, yeah, like, and I used to say this to Lucky. How are you a business channel with no business? That makes no sense to me. Tell this to my brother all the time. We can watch a million videos about trading all day. Until I see results, I don't care. And it's harsh, but I just don't care. Right? Like, but at the same time, there are people within our spheres that would just say anything to make a bag, and then shame baby mamas when they have an opinion. It's fucking wicked.
And kept watching because you had that restaurant that failed, so that was an L. But everyone that has been successful has taken an L before. But bro, you lie a lot.
Look, what does that say?
Bald-headed lies.
And I hate liars, but I like listening to your perspective. But after this Pearl situation, I'm gonna be honest.
You're dead to me. You're dead. You're gone. I don't even know who you are. You're vapor.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm disappointed, but I don't blame you, Pearl. No. I blame me because you've exhibited almost everything wrong with Black culture from the jump, especially the Blacks that make it. So let's start with PBM. Roll a clip.
My Versace. They kick.
One thing that I never, ever do, ever, is finance.
I remember this. I remember when I first met Luck and she was saying, why would I finance anything? I said, you don't understand how white people build credit and why they put their kids as fucking, what do they call it, babe? Like they add them onto their credit cards like when they 16.
Oh, secondary authorized.
Yeah, secondary authorized user. Yes.
Yeah.
They add them.
Build their credit as well.
Exactly. By the time they get 18,
that's why
they shit is already like almost at 750 damn near. Only reason why I couldn't be because they can't take out any loans or shit like that, but they already established a credit history. And on top of that, he was lying.
Ever do, ever. It's finance. Anything.
Yo, this is where he capping, y'all, and I'm gonna hold him accountable. Pay attention to what just happened.
Anton Daniels says he doesn't finance anything, but these documents tell a different story. In 2019, he was ordered to pay $15,000 to Discover Card, $8,000 to American Express, and $3,900 to Ford Motor Credit Company.
I'll give you an example, right?
39.
So like you see, niggas be coming on here and they just be lying. And then you have people, that's what I was trying to tell Izzy, y'all gotta stop vouching for all these men, bro. And stop making it seem like I'm taking shit personal. If you don't like when black women lie, you shouldn't like when black men lie. If you don't like when black women fake it to the top, 'cause that was the whole thing. Kamala Harris, she slept her way to the top and faked to the top. But y'all associate with men who do it. You tired, babe? I'm going to lay down, man. That's what y'all do. What's up, Nay? Hey, Nay. Let me keep going with this one, man.
$100 to Ford Motor Credit Company.
I'll give you an example, right? I got sued by Ford Motor Company for not paying off whatever additional work that they had to do when I turned in a lease on my Mustang, right? It was like a couple $100.
So it was $3,900, not a couple $100.
He always lying, dog.
You know what I'm saying? You know, when you turn in your car, you turn in your lease, and if they got to do any work, like a rim is scratched or something like that, it was like, you know, a couple $100 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can pull that up and say, well, look, Anton owed Ford Motor Company money, but it didn't matter.
But
You know
what if
Well, it obviously mattered to Ford. And you saying
one thing that I never, ever do is finance.
That has to be the dumbest low budget financial advice ever.
I mean, yeah, he's telling people not to finance, but then he only talked about what happened with Ford Motor Company. He didn't talk about the $18,000 to Discover, which is they only do credit. And then it was another, I think it was American Express or something for another $8,000. Right? That's, you know what I'm saying? Shit, that's almost 30 bands in credit. So again, y'all listen to these men about women. Y'all listen to these men about making money. Is why y'all don't got no women. Is why y'all still broke, because y'all around people who don't really have y'all best interests at heart. That's a fact. These other males don't want to do it because they, you know what I'm saying, for some reason they want to be, you know, I don't know, just around niggas' presence, or they are incapable of calling these men out. I don't know what the problem is, but at the end of the day, they have a major issue with just not keeping it 100. And it cripples the black community overall, in my opinion.
I've had a lot of rich clients. Word to my kid, they finance assets.
Well, in one of your YouTube videos, you actually said that you're currently $600 million in debt. No?
1.2 billion.
1.2 billion. Okay.
No, don't finance that Versace robe you're wearing. But if you're building a business, absolutely finance it.
And $3,900 to Ford Motor Credit Company. 2 credit cards and 1 car note. For a man who does not finance anything, why does he owe these creditors money? In this video clip, Anton is going to give you a tour of the millionaire master bedroom. This is the millionaire master bedroom. Let's check it out.
Attire for today. Got the purple socks to match the purple shirt, blue pants, standard attire. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just a couple of the things that I carry with me. I keep 2 cell phones. I run 4 numbers in between it. A little bit of cash or whatever, about 2,000 on me. I don't usually take this.
And so he has no nerve calling anybody dusty, bragging about his money, because this master suite is looking dusty. I'm sorry. It is.
Now, I wouldn't call it dusty, but it looks like your average middle-class apartment. I'm going to let this play out and react to it at the end. It looks like it's
dusty.
Cell phone, shirt, blue pants.
Yeah, that bitch is an average, super average, bro. There's no space in that bitch. It's small as hell. Bedroom take up the whole apartment. Tiny ass TV. That bitch small, bro.
Standard attire. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just a couple of the things that I carry with me. I keep 2 cell phones. I run 4 numbers in between it. A little bit of cash or whatever, about 2,000 on me. I don't usually take this.
And so he has no nerve calling anybody dusty, bragging about his money, because this master suite is looking dusty. I'm sorry. It is.
Now, I wouldn't call it dusty, but it looks like your average middle-class apartment. I'm going to let this play out and react to it at the end because PBM did a great job reacting to it, and I don't want this part to be too long.
This is what my budget is for the week. See the subtotal, the taxes that I spent? This is my real life, bro. This is my receipt from the jewelry store.
Now, he just showed you a receipt for $38,000 and he says that's his weekly budget, $38,000. He said that's his piss money. But in this next video, he's going to talk about not being able to afford to sit courtside at a Detroit Pistons game. FYI, it only costs $1,700 for a courtside seat at a Pistons game. If you buy season tickets, it is $1,700 a game. That's not a lot of money. Let's listen.
JR, you always want to upgrade. So it's like I'm not going to be satisfied till I'm sitting center court for the whole season. Hey, how you doing?
Now, in this next clip, we're going to hear him talk about his profitable restaurant, the restaurant that closed after only 2 years in business. He says it was profitable, but I have paperwork that says otherwise. Check it out.
Really, really fun ride. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. You know, I got the type of education that you can't get. And I was profitable. You know, a lot of people can't say that they was profitable. And then I was one of the fortunate ones that actually really did still have the capital to be able to do so without taking out loans or taking on partners or anything like that. But a lot of people don't. And what you find is that yo, this is where he capping, y'all, and I'm gonna hold him accountable. Pay attention to what just happened.
Now, according to the state of Michigan, in a UCC filing, Anton Daniels and Sweet Soul Kitchen LLC, they are both in debt to Thomas Hospitality Group. They are in debt. They owe money, and this UCC filing is a lien. They need to pay up. That lien is still active. Let me show you where you can go find it. Sweet Soul Kitchen has 3 active liens. There's 2 UCC liens and 1 state tax lien. They are in debt. They owe money and or property. That is a fact. Anton Daniels specifically has a UCC lien. He is in debt. He owes money and or property. That is a fact. He owes it to Thomas Hospitality Group. Now we have another document showing that the Sweet Soul Kitchen LLC was dissolved February 18th, 2020. The UCC filing was filed January 5th, 2020. So you see the filing was completed January, and then they went to dissolve the LLC in February. We don't know if he's if he's trying to run away from that debt, right? Because he told you guys that he doesn't finance anything. But according to the state of Michigan, he's in debt. So for a man that's balling out of control, multimillionaire, why you can't pay your bills, player? I'm just saying, somebody ain't telling the truth.
Streams. Check my numbers. I got over 8 million views, bro. I am a legend.
The arrogance of the manosphere community has caused them to come to a all-time low. Nobody really is talking about the content. It's not really reaching people anymore. And a lot of men don't want to be accountable for the fact that they are the problem that they are talking about every single day. That's just the facts. That's just the facts, man. Shout out to everybody that's watching over there on Twitter, everybody watching on YouTube. I appreciate you guys for even just watching, listening in, tuning in. Let's keep going.
Streams. Check my numbers. I got over 8 million views, bro. I am a legend. This is my real life, bro.
Now, I don't got part 2, y'all, but PBM pretty much summed up the fake it till you make it. And you allegedly spending $38,000 on jewelry while you're in debt is crazy. And that's another thing that's wrong with the Black community. Broke people trying to impress broke people. I make more money than almost everybody I know, but But I come back to my hood and they dress like Anton, saying stuff like, you fell off, bro. How, Sway? You 30, still living with your moms, but you spending $2K on an outfit? That's crazy to me. You stupid. Fuck the designer shit. I've done it all. But nigga, I shop at Marshall's. And I'm proud of it. But then you went out and got a job, which some YouTubers clowned you on because you said you were a millionaire. Now, I got a high-paying job, so I don't have any problem with that, but I'm not lying and telling people I'm a millionaire either. And side note, why lie about who you are? Just be you. Trust me, they'll respect you more. And you got a whole bunch of fake net worth websites up saying you worth $4 million. This website accidentally said you made $20,000 a year, so you might want to change that. But
damn. See what happened when y'all just be out here lying? Always be yourself. Always be honest with yourself, man. Always be honest about who you are. Let's go.
Accidentally said you made $20,000 a year, so you might want to change that. But you can get this service done on Fiverr for $125. A guy will literally make a fake page of you, and if you want to put your worth $10 million, hell, he'll do it. But enough about that. Why do I think you're what's wrong with black culture? It's simple. Give a man some money, and he starts to think racism doesn't exist.
What? We cannot ignore disadvantages that are systematically put against us, like our ancestors didn't. Our ancestors didn't just deal with what they did. They said, no, we want better. So I'm not going to say racism don't exist. I want to speak on it. I want to make it known. I want to make it. How can you get a problem fixed when you can't even acknowledge it's a problem? So that maybe content creators in 2-3 generations won't have to go through that.
Most of us that exist today have never truly went through anything race related. Most people that are
What are you talking about, bro? How can you even speak for most people? Let's keep going. I want to show you guys something.
are existing in 2022. Okay, so let me break this down. No.
Are you trolling me?
No, I'm serious. Hear me out. Hear me out.
This is what's wrong with the blacks who start to get a little money. They think they're special, and we are. Huh? We're a special group of individuals that made it to the top because we overcame a bunch of different obstacles, race included, regardless of if you acknowledge race as an obstacle or not. See, I'd be ignorant if I said racism doesn't exist because I've experienced it, not to the level of our ancestors, but nonetheless, I have. And the thing about racism nowadays is no one calls you the N-word to your face anymore like they did my mother-in-law when she was just a kid playing in the wrong part of Long Island, New York. No. They just look at your resume and see your first name is Anton and throw that shit in the trash. Or they give you a low appraisal on your house when you're trying to sell it.
When somebody's black selling their house, the appraisers will come in and literally give them a value $100,000 to $300,000 less because they're black. You know that that's actually happened, right?
You'll take one story and say that.
Oh my God!
You'll take one story and say that. So I guess it only happened to one person. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, sometimes I don't even enjoy having conversations with people of other races because it's always the same shit over and over and over and over and over. They act like they for us, but they don't really be for us. They act like they really rock with us, but they don't. And to me, that's always a problem because I'd be really worried about who can we go to really talk about the things that are affecting Black Americans and make them allies. And we never can go to them because they're never truly sympathetic. Never.
How many occasions has that happened?
That since you did, I guess you couldn't pull it up. Okay.
Oh, he did pull it up.
Okay, the Biden administration, the Federal Housing and Finance Agency released 47 million appraisal reports to the public for the first time. The appraisals, which were compiled between 2013 and 2021, present evidence of a persistent, widespread practice in the home appraisal industry to give higher values to homes when the occupants are white and devalue them if the owners are people of color.
That's such bullshit. That's such bullshit. You know why?
Hold up. Let
me tell you why that's such bullshit.
They actually took the reports and showed the data, and now you call it bullshit.
Of course I call it bullshit.
So you ask for the data and the facts.
No.
And now you give your opinion because you don't like the facts.
Bro.
And it's the dumbest concept to think racism doesn't exist anymore because they ended segregation in 1964. It hasn't even been 60 years, y'all. And people who hated us back then, a lot of them are still alive. Hell, some taught their kids to hate us as well. Listen, sometimes things happen and we can't always blame racism, but we can't also act like it doesn't exist. You sound really dumb, bro. Take the Ralph Yari situation. The young man went to the wrong address and got shot. I can look at these pictures and tell he came from, at a bare minimum, middle to upper class family. See, I'm from the hood. The only thing they let us play was those cheap ass flutes. But let's be honest, that could have been your son, Anton, if you had a son. And if it was your son, would you honestly think race didn't play a factor? Nigga, please. I don't.
Too often we got people that make money and they start to just, forget about a lot of the things that other African Americans are going through and they don't care about them. They really don't. But I'm wrapping up after this video, guys. We've been here for 2 hours. Let's go.
I don't think so. See, I believe a lot of black folks, when we get some money, we get this sense of ignorance that if I can do it, why can't they? Or racism never stopped me. You gotta realize we all don't get the same opportunities. Me personally, I came from a 2-parent household that gave me a curfew to keep me out of the streets. My dad literally gave me $20,000 to pursue my dreams. If I had to ask a crowd of black men how many of them shared my experience, I'm 99% sure no one else would raise their hand from my hood. If Pearl's comments about slavery being over-exaggerated doesn't bother you, fine. I know that's your baby girl.
Why y'all keep telling me that Pearl is here like I don't know that my homegirl be watching me and kicking it with me on a regular basis? I know who my baby girl is.
But to act like racism doesn't exist is crazy to me.
I won't, it's not in me to turn my back on the people. And I know you looking at it from a system perspective, right?
Who are you talking about turning your back on?
It's people that have held me down that don't look nothing like me.
That's fine, but Anton, do you understand what a white savior complex is?
No, that's not what this is, though.
Okay.
So people from different races held you down, and now racism doesn't exist anymore? That's dumb. And lastly, I'll end this video with a piece of advice. Just because you collab with a creator, that doesn't make y'all friends. Just because you talk on the phone with these people doesn't make them your friend. And hell, you've proven that with the shade you've thrown at some of the creators you've worked with in the past. So I'm unsure why you think they owe you a phone call and not to discuss you in public when your friendship was public. Also, if I disagree with you, it's not hate. It just is what it is. Do I think the passport bros are haters? No. I think they lame as fuck, but I don't think they hating on me. They just disagree with my opinion, and that's fine. I'm out.
I don't want to beef with you. I don't want to do, now we're not friends. Now, first you invite me on your platform and uplift me and show me to your audience. Now all of a sudden it's, I can't even feed myself? Really, Anton? Wow. Now all of a sudden you're telling men as a married man that they should not support female business owners unless they're having sex with them. So if a male content creator wants to collab with me, he's a simp if he does, if I don't have sex. So every man that watches my channel is a simp if I don't give him some ass.
Have a good day, everybody.